Welcome to the Medium series. This is haircut M1. This is a haircut that uses line and graduation. The first stage of this haircut is a line. I have decided to cut the line in a triangular shape. This means we will be shorter in the back, becoming longer through the front. I'm also going to cut the hair through the comb. This will give a crisp feeling to the line. My first section will also reflect that and has a slight diagonal angle to it. So the key points when cutting a line are cut at eye level, keep the hair evenly damp, spray every section with water, mirror your section to your outline, and in this case we will be cutting through the comb. For the first section in the back, I've chosen to take down both sides, and I will be cutting first of all in the middle. This will be more square. Then I will start to angle down on the side and angle down on the other side. You do not want something that looks like that. It's too exaggerated. You do want a line that looks more like that. Close your scissor and guide the hair into your comb. This will give you more control and take your first cut. You need to choose the correct side of your comb. The larger side of the comb will give you the loosest tension. The smaller side of the comb will give you the tightest tension. So look at the hairline and look at the hair that you are working with. If you have a jumpy or a difficult hairline, you must go through the larger end of the comb. This will give looser tension. If you have a flat, easy, good hairline, it's better to cut through the small end of the comb. One of the biggest key points when cutting a line is to control your elbow position. Naturally, if you allow your elbow to sit in this position, you will round the hair up on this side. So it's very important to bring your elbow down. This will control the comb. Feed the hair into the comb and try and cut every section to the original guide. Do not get longer or shorter, just cut on the original guide. When working through from the back into the sides, continue the same section all the way through to the front. I like to take a thicker first section so you can actually get some weight on there. As soon as you get close to the ear area, which starts behind, you must tap with the closed scissor to loosen the tension. This will stop you from getting a hole or a gap around the ear. The hair over the ear area has to come out and then drop down, so it needs to be technically a little bit longer. When working on a line, it's important to stand in front of your sections. I should be walking around the head, standing in front of the section that I'm cutting. Starting in the back, allow the hair to fall in its natural position. Do not comb it and force it to be cut somewhere it doesn't want to be. Comb the hair in its natural position, allow it to fall, and then continue exactly the same process of cutting through the comb, trying to follow the exact guideline, not getting longer or getting shorter. Continue with the same sections up to your chosen parting. Mine is a side parting. Bring every single section down and cut it to the same line. Continue that until you run out of hair. Drop my elbow, feed the hair through the comb, tap strongly around the ear, continue to cut. Your choice what angle you choose to cut in the side. Do you want it to be dramatic? Do you want it to be more gentle? Do you want it to be asymmetric? You have many, many options by cutting in this manner. Again, closing my scissor, putting the hair through the comb, but feeding with my scissor. Through, drop my elbow, tap dramatically, continue to cut. I prefer to work with one full side. Also, when I get to the crown area, I might want to loosen my tension and work with a larger side of the comb. Working with this technique is very methodical. You have to do every section the same. I also like to spray the water into the comb and apply to the hair. The next step of the haircut will be the graduation. Graduation is going to start at the occipital bone and above. The sectioning pattern will pivot around, starting more horizontal diagonal, pivoting a little bit higher until it finally finishes more vertical diagonal. The vertical diagonal sections will then continue through into the side. The angle of the graduation will also mimic and mirror the angle of the outline. So overall, a triangular shape with the graduation. We do not, however, want to interfere with the line previously cut. The reason we are starting the graduation above the occipital bone is to maintain the weight in the line. So the key point here is the graduation will start above the occipital bone. Starting with a horizontal diagonal section, graduate the back using the guideline from the outline. So my guide is from the line. My fingers are going to mirror my section, comb the hair out and slightly down, line the fingers up and cut the first angle of graduation. The first section, you should not be cutting very much hair. It will increase as you move up the head. Bringing the hair down to the previous section and allowing my finger angle to change with my section angle. Comb the hair until it's tight and use a tight tension. Pull against the head. Another key point on this side is to keep the chair down, as you will need to elevate your elbow to create a consistent balance from side to side. Mirror the finger angle to the section angle. Take the guide from the other side, and this will tell you what to cut. So finger angle is going to mirror the section angle. The previously cut hair will tell you how much to elevate. When you reach this point, both sides will be fully connected. Continue to take the section from the first side down and use it as an elevation guideline. Every section that I take on this side, I will also take on the previously cut side. When I'm working with graduation, I prefer to cut all of one side together because graduation is a rhythm and you have to really remember your elevation. If you jump from side to side, it's very difficult to get that consistent, even rhythm. My connection point is from the previously cut hair on the previous side. If I elevate to the correct position, I know I have a good balance and a good connection. If I drop my elbow, this side will be heavier. If I'm combing the hair down to the previous section and I'm at the correct position, my guideline will look crisp. This will let me know I'm elevating the hair in the correct position. You can also choose with this technique to lift higher or to stay lower, really dependent on the desired effect for your client. Working into the top, I've chosen to create a side parting. But really, this haircut could be done from a central parting also. And the key thing to remember is to comb the hair where it wants to fall. So do not force the hair back into the back graduation. You must allow the hair to fall where it wants to be and simply cut the hair to the graduation weight line, allowing the hair to fall exactly where it wants to live. For the final part of this haircut, after the blow dry, start to reassess the graduation weight line. Remember, when we cut the crown area wet, we loosened the tension. Therefore, when you blow dry, sometimes you will feel that the graduation is a little bit heavy. This is the time to reassess that, and this is the time to elevate a little bit more if that's what you feel. Lifting up smoothly and cutting at the same time. It's a smooth action that eliminates small areas of weight and also any steps. I can also work through over the top of my fingers, lifting very, very gently, taking out a bit more weight. There is also an option at this point to use a pointing technique. If you feel you want a slightly more shattered look, you can point into the hair. Using a pointing technique should not be used to cover mistakes. It should only be used to soften the hair texture or to blend an area of color that has steps. Continue the same on the other side, elevating the hair, working palm to palm, very loose tension here, lifting up and dusting at the same time. The movement is very smooth and needs to be practiced on dry hair. Also, in this haircut, I need to go back and check my line. It's also good to stand your client up at this point. Stand her up and check all the way around the hairlines and also check the balance before your client leaves the salon. Tap the hair around the ear, move the head across, comb the hair around the ear. Check any areas that are not falling within the line. Also, remember we left weight over the ear on purpose to allow for the spring. So you will usually find you have this area of weight that you need to fix. Because it's such a delicate area to cut on, I prefer to lift the hair out, put it into my comb, tap down, and then cut through the comb. The final part of this haircut will be the fringe. And I've decided to achieve a soft finish to the line. This haircut could also be done with a really long front. It does not have to have a fringe. It could also have a side fringe or any fringe that you feel suits your client. My fringe is going to be soft and pointed into. First, close the scissor. Lift the hair out from the forehead. Allow the hair to fall in its natural position. Tap the roots. And using your scissor in more of an angle, point into the fringe. This is my final look for M1, a pure line with classic graduation.